Well, I've had a fairly unproductive day, so I thought I would just try to whip out at least one scrunchie to have something to show for it. So here we go. I'm going to let you see how I do it. This is going to be a skinny scrunchie, like this. I like these little ones. And we are going to use a method with elastic. This is not the burrito method. I have trouble with the burrito method when I use the skinny ones because it's too close. My fingers are fumbly. Anyway, to make a skinny scrunchie, you're going to need one strip of fabric. I am using about a 29 to 30 inch strip. It's half the width of the fabric and it is 3 inches wide. Okay, I went and I pressed, I don't know if you can see, I pressed down about 1/4 inch, folded over on one end. That's just going to make it a little bit easier in a little while to sew that shut. When you make a scrunchie, you're going to have a seam where you had to close it. On this one, you can see it's around the fat edge, and yes, if you were really doing this, you'd want to use a thread that matched the fabric. I just did that so you could see how it matched. Now on this one, my seam is straight. It's like from the center out to the edge. So either way, you're going to have a seam. I have started closing mine by hand because I just didn't like the way either one of them looked. It seemed to, mess up the thing either way I went. Okay, so take your fabric and we're going to fold it with the right side together, the pretty side folded on the inside, and then that 1/4 inch seam allowance folded down. And we're going to seam it straight down this long edge. Okay, so go to your machine like I am, and we're going to line up the raw edges just with the edge of the presser foot. Okay, just a second and I will get you a close-up of that. Let me get it situated in here. Okay, now I've got you moved to the other side. We have our tube with the right sides together, folded in half lengthwise, and I'm making sure these raw edges are matched up. And then we're just going to stitch it all the way down. Now sink your needle, and if you want to, hold your threads, and then take a couple of stitches. And then I'm going to back up a couple of stitches, and then I'm fixing to cut loose. Then I'm going to back up, take a couple of stitches back, and off. Okay, lift your foot, lift the needle, cut the thread, and that's your tube. Now we've got to turn this tube inside out. So get a safety pin. This is the easiest way to do it, and doesn't matter really where you stab it. Get the pin. Now turn the pin around. Oh, you still didn't see me. Okay, here's where I put the pin. Now we're going to turn the pin around and stuff it through the tube. Okay, and this is what we're going to be doing now. Once you get it kind of started in there, we're just going to scooch and pull. Okay, scooch, all the way down, and then pull it right on out. Okay, tube is turned. Now we need to insert the elastic. So you can leave this on this end because I like to anchor my elastic on one end, that way you don't lose it. And put your Put it through the elastic. Now, I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to put the pin right through it, close it up, and I'm fixing to run it through the tube the same way we turned it. We're just going to pull that elastic all the way to the end. And there it comes. So now we can take this safety pin off, and you got to watch this one. Don't lose it while you're taking the pin off. I'm going to take this safety pin off, if I can find it, right out of there. Now hold those two. Several different ways you can join these. You can glue them. I'm not comfortable with that. You can sew them together, and that's really difficult on this 1/4 inch elastic. And my elastic was 9 inches. I cut a little bit more so I could do the knot, the overhand knot, or the balloon knot, whatever you want to call it. So just wrap it around, tuck it under. Tighten it up, and then we're going to push that knot. You can trim off some of that if you want to. I usually do, but you're not going to be able to tell it. Push that knot back in there. Now, the end that had the folded over edge, that's the end that you want on the outside, okay? The other side is you're just gonna, and I'm gonna try to make sure my seams are matching. Yep, there they are. And we're just gonna push that part inside there. Push it right on in the folded edge, and this is kind of fiddly. And then fluff it out some. Okay. Now you can see, go all the way around. Make sure that edge is tucked. Sometimes some tweezers right here help really a lot. But keep that in tucked under. Poke this one through. Now you can either put this under your machine right here and stitch across it, or you can take a hand sewing needle and you're just going to come up through there and whip stitch it. Hang on just a second and I will load myself a needle and I'll show you how to whip stitch that. Okay, I have a threaded needle, and you see where it's doubled over in there. I have a short tail and then a long tail to sew. At the end of the long tail, you're going to tie a knot, and I usually tie several of them right on top of each other. You can take it and just kind of roll it through your fingers and just get a few knots right on top of each other. There we go. One more time. If you take it and loop it over and then you just kind of roll it through there, that'll get you a pretty good size knot there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, so now we are ready to whip stitch this together, and let me trim this thread. You want your seam to be hidden. So you're going to take the needle under there and come up, take it again, through that crease. Okay. That way the knot is hidden under there. Okay. Then you'll just take a stitch in the bottom layer and come up, and then a stitch through the channel where that fold is. You're going to be like catching the top layer. Okay, just catch the top layer. Just like that. And then go through the bottom layer. I usually do up quite a few of them, and then when I'm just watching TV, I can whip them together. I just like the way it looks better. So you're catching just the top part, right where that folded edge is. And see, if you press it, kind of gives you a line to follow. And then catch that bottom layer. See, we're almost finished. One more up top. And I actually know a lot of people that don't even bother sewing it. It doesn't come apart, so, but you never know. And then that's going to be my last bite. Okay, so now tie a few knots in this one. What I do is just wrap it around my needle several times and then pull it close to the fabric. See how that's staying down there, and probably another time wouldn't hurt. And then to hide this thread, go through the fabric one more time, pull it kind of tight, and then snip your thread. Now you have a wonderful little skinny scrunchie. And I do like to twist them so that my seam is in the bottom. I don't know, I just think it looks better. Okay. Alright. Well, I hope y'all had a more productive day than I did. And I hope this was of some benefit to somebody. Nice skinny scrunchie. Catch you next time.